So BlizzCon happened. Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls expansion, World of Warcraft Warlords of Draenor expansion, and all this crap I don't care about. Killer Instinct won't have a single player mode at launch? No arcade mode? What? The news sucked this week. Good. I wanted to talk about the PS4 and the Xbox One anyway. As you may already know, the PS4 is being released this Friday, November 15th. Some of you might still be debating which console you're going to get, even though you probably should have pre-ordered one by now anyway. Let's start with the controller. PlayStation finally made a significant upgrade to their DualShock. The buttons are closer together and the whole thing feels a little bit smaller, which is amazing considering there's a giant touchpad in the middle and a move light on the back. The back, when you're looking at it while you're playing it, like the front. The side away from you while you're playing, like this side. So yes, a PlayStation camera will be able to track the movement of your controller. The DualShock 4 controller will work right out of the box with a PC, aside from the touchpad. However, the face buttons are not pressure sensitive anymore. The previous DualShock 3 controller allowed for multiple points of pressure to be recognized on all of the face buttons. This is something the Xbox controller never had, and that doesn't change with the Xbox One. The Xbox One controller doesn't look much different. The face buttons are a lot quicker. The rubber membrane under them feels shorter, so button presses feel super quick. The left and right triggers have their own dedicated rumbles. So for instance, when you're playing Forza and you slam on the brake, the left trigger fights back. Probably the best upgrade with the Xbox One controller is that if you take a cable and plug it into the controller and plug the other end into the Xbox, data will transfer between the controller and the Xbox. This is something that did not previously happen with the Xbox 360 controller. If you took a cable and plugged it into the Xbox and plugged the other end into the controller, it will only charge the battery pack. Data will not transfer between the controller and the Xbox, unless you have a special cable in which you need to tell me about. That is also the reason why wired Xbox 360 controllers was so sought after by hardcore online gamers. Perhaps the most glaring difference between the two consoles are the graphics. They are both very impressive machines. However, developers have said that the Xbox One is more of a pain in the ass to develop for than the PlayStation 4. Pain in the ass, direct quote. Something about the RAM or the ES RAM, I don't know, ask one of them. A bunch of Xbox One launch titles are... Fucking murdered that bug. A bunch of Xbox One launch titles are going to be natively 720p upscaled to 1080p. One of those titles is the blockbuster Call of Duty Ghosts. This decision was made to preserve the frame rate at a relatively high 60 frames per second. However, Dead Rising 3, which is an Xbox One exclusive, mind you, is natively 720p at 30 frames per second. What's the reason for that? This is only part 1 of my comparison. Part 2 will be up next week, which is the week of the Xbox One. Got anything to add? Leave it in the comments. I'd love to hear from all of you disgruntled Xbox One people. Game releases Tuesday, November 12th. Farming Simulator. Adventure Time, explore the dungeon because, I don't know, Frozen Olaf's Quest, Ratchet & Clank Into the Nexus, Injustice Gods Among Us Ultimate Edition, SimCity Cities of Tomorrow, SimCity Plus Edition, generic Transformers collections coming out for both Wii and DS, Wonderbook Book of Potions, Wonderbook Walking with Dinosaurs, Wednesday, November 13th, Blood Knights and The Bridge, Friday, November 15th, Contrast, Deadfall Adventures, Mario and Sonic at the Sochi 2014 Olympic Games, Trine 2, Complete Story, Super Motherload, and all of the PS4 launch titles, some of which were not street dated and were released as they were shipped last week. Like if you like, subscribe if you really like. I just noticed that light isn't facing me. Have a good week. The next gen graphics are leagues beyond the current gen graphics, and The multiplayer will allow 64 players per server on the next-gen consoles, just like it does on the PC. Previously, Battlefield has been known to nerf the consoles and have multiplayer battles much larger on the PC than it is on the consoles. Battlefield 4 for the current gen only allows 24 players per server.
I don't even know why people torrent it. People are like, oh, sick game, man, great. And like, you can't play it. Don't tell me it's a sick game.
Yeah.
You're just lying. Oh man, I'm gonna play. Oh, it's nostalgic. Well,
yeah,
part of that play it.
Part of that nostalgia is
Was the pain in
booklet.
the ass of the DRM, of that freaking.
I would still rather have that DRM over always online though.
I wouldn't. That was a nightmare.
It's a nightmare. You just flip to one page and it's you type in.
You need to have the book with you whenever you want to play this game.